IPMNation.com.
Live from the Outpost Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Brought to you by IPMNation.com. Get ready for the gong heard round the world.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good evening and welcome. Thank you so very much for stopping by. Let me do this real quick here. What I'm told is the 364th episode of the number one rated show here on IPMNation.com. You're in to All Natural Being, and as you just may have recognized, the gong heard round the world. Broadcast as it happens, thanks to our good friends at Telestream's Wirecast. They're the brains behind figuring out how to get the fly-on-the-wall video here to us every night. And the audio is broadcast on IPMNation.com/TR now, also over on Facebook, YouTube, allnaturalbeing.com, and on the new Brian Brawdy app. But however you come to hang with us, we're always pumped to have you here. We're always psyched to be a part of your decision to mortal up. Live from the Transitional Radio Uplink here in Columbus, Ohio, or as I like to call it now, 39.5 degrees north of the equator, right? Who'd have thought that? With rebroadcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all of the other usual suspects. Greetings wherever you are here in the garden of the mortals, and what a gig it truly is. It is a great day to be alive. Because ultimately, every day is a great day. Winning or whining, it's up to you and me. Life's our labyrinth. We get to decide. It's our shot at running the table as we see fit. And as I've said before, the hell with your critics. It's time to ignore them and to own your primal scream. Not placing it on the back burner, but front and center, right on your lips, your mouth-watering lips, right where they belong. That's why we're here, to be your friendly force, to be your blue force. Always putting your heart's highest priority top of the list requires a tag team. We're here to be that tag team. Reinstalling and reinstating the true wit, the true wisdom. I love the wallop of your inner whisper. Rebooting your robust, finding your ferocious, all in time to out-brutal the brutal. That can very well be the cut and shuffle that fate deals you on a daily basis. We talk about it now. To bring your own bold once and for all. But before we hit it this evening, hello to my friends here in the United States and Canada, Mexico, the UK, those in Ecuador, our good friends in Ecuador, China, the Philippines, Brazil, India, Australia, Italy, Germany, France, Nigeria, Turkey, Japan, Singapore, Thailand, Belgium, Sweden, Israel, South Africa, Egypt, and Puerto Rico, Kenya, the Netherlands, Colombia, Greece, Ireland, Peru, Poland. Can you believe it? To those joining us from all over the globe, it truly is a blast to think about having you with us. I truly am fired up to be driving your bandwagon, to be watching your six, at least philosophically, to be your virtual hitchhiker if you're out on the go, but in any event, to be your biggest fan, to be avidly you. And about this time every night I ask, why would you let anyone hijack your cognition? Why would we let anyone play us like a sock puppet? Why adopt their philosophy as our way of life? In the days of needlessly torturing ourselves by being someone else's tool, they're over the moment we decide to take life into our own hands, to find it living out on the limb. So what are we waiting for? Here's our opportunity right now to mortal up. So what do you say? Let's go kick in some doors. And this evening, I want to say both belated, right, because I bumped into some great veterans today for the American Foreign Legion, an event that I was at here in Ohio. Bumped in some of them, and they go, well, you know what? We only celebrate Veterans Day on the 11th. And that's true. Some people celebrate it on the 12th. So whether it's belated Happy Veterans Day or Happy Veterans Day to you if you celebrated it today, thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for everything that you do for us, where you're a veteran, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for taking that moment to put someone else's life, put them behind you, and say, stand right there. I'll shoulder this. I'll take the responsibility. So thank you very much for that. I want to go ahead and hop in the feed, but also think, I mention all the time, I say, oh, well, look how good we have it in life. Yes, there's been these things that have derailed us. Yes, we have this. Yes, we have that. But my thoughts go out right away to the people in California that are dealing with the wildfires. Easy for me to say. Nice shirt, Sue. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. All right, so let me jump in the thread. Let me say good evening to Jennifer and to Joseph. Thank you so much. Henry, good evening, as always. Good evening, B-Man, and to you. Henry, thank you so very much. Greetings and salutations. Joseph, right back at you. Marie, thank you so very much. Subi McCann, nice shirt. I know I ordered one for you, dear, just so you know. Wayne, thank you so very much for everything that you do to keep us up and going here in Transitional Radio. David Ray Bowman, thank you. Mentor of mine for a long time. Truly knows what he's doing in radio. Thank you for joining us, David. And as always, any suggestion that you have and you go, Brian, I've got like a 3x5 card filled on both sides with suggestions for you. But any suggestions? Oh, well, thanks. Well, you're welcome, Sue. Any suggestions you can think of, Dave, please let me know. And we'd love to incorporate them here into the show, as you know. Because what's that old saying? It's an hour across the table from a wise man or a wise woman, right? An hour across the table from a wise person is worth a year's study in books. Well, we will take the critique anytime you have to offer it. And if I haven't mentioned it already, my friend, belated Happy Veterans Day. All right, so, I don't want to equate the wildfires in California, but how'd you like to be Tom Brady? He's on the way to having the record of the most games, and his team's losing so bad, I guess, this past weekend, that he gets pulled from the game in the fourth quarter. Well, that's a little bit of, that might be hard to deal with, right? So I think about that. What are the things that you and I deal with in life that in the moment they seem astronomical? In the moment, I'm a wise ass. That's okay. I like wise ass. You can send those comments, right? Oh, what is it? It's probably the way I dress. I don't know. Maybe I don't stand up straight. But I'll take the comments, whatever you got, David. But what are some of those things in your life that you're facing? You go, well, at least I wasn't tossed in the middle of the fourth quarter. I wasn't benched on national TV in the middle of the fourth quarter. Then maybe it's not as bad as you and I think. Do you have situations? Give me a call if you do. 833-MIND-UPS. 833-646-8377. 833-MIND-UPS. MINDUPS. Just like sit-ups or push-ups or pull-ups. 833-MIND-UPS. Give me a call. Let me know. What are some of those things that you've reached a stage in your life when you go, oh, man, this is brutal. But then you look around and you go, well, you know what? Not as brutal as I first thought it was. Because ultimately, you and I can handle a good bit more than we think we can. So are there examples where we cave? Are there examples where we let fate chop block us? Are there those examples where we go, yeah, you know what? I was just going to throw in the towel. I used to have a white flag here somewhere. I don't know where it is. I'm going to do a little bit of redden up. I get made fun of because redden up was a term I learned in West Virginia. Oh, here it is. Red up means, you're getting ready. You're getting ready for company to come over. White flag. Why wave the white flag? There's nothing about you that's got white flag written on you. So are there situations in your life where you have to compare it to other people and you go, wow, my life really isn't all that bad? And I'll tell you that it's front and center in my life, given some of the things that I've been through of late, to be able to say, and actually you see the look on people's faces and they go, wait a minute, you're happy with the last 2 years of your life? Ecstatic. Because the alternative is, well, I didn't have to be here at all for the last 2 years. I could have wrapped up this whole show in 16, 15, somewhere around in there. You ever have those days where you think it just can't get any worse, and you're almost hitting rock bottom, which you know by now if you've followed the show. I believe the rock bottom is the perfect place to ricochet from. Rock bottom is the perfect place to bounce back from. And how have you seen it? How have you seen it in your life where you thought, I just can't take another minute, I just can't take another hour, not another day of this, but you persevere, and something happens. Just when you think, when all the cards are laid out against you, something happens. I saw, where did I see it last night? Maybe someone knows. Last night or yesterday, maybe it was on Facebook. It says, we just about cracked, but we realized that in that crack, that's where the light was let in. If anyone knows, can give me a holler. I'd appreciate it. But how about those times in your life where you think, I just can't take another hit? And then what do you get? Another hit. But something in you says, nope. I'm not going to let this be the end of me. I'm not going to let this derail me. I'm not going to get played like a sock puppet. I'm not going to let fate decide this is what it will do to me in my life. Joseph asks, where is paradise? The perfect place to live. I like that, Joseph. And for me, paradise, people laugh all the time. They go, is there any place else you'd rather be? Sue will tell you. Sue's been my friend for a lot of years. There's nowhere else I'd rather be than where I am right now. Because here's the thing. If at any moment I decided there was somewhere else I'd rather be, something else I'd rather be doing, I've said to my friends all along, you'll know, because I'll get up and walk away. I'll get up and go, yeah, it's a wrap. I'm out of here. So for me to come down here and get an opportunity to hang with you all every night, or 5 nights a week now, Sunday through Thursday. See, I haven't lost my math skills. Apparently my voice is a little off today. You notice that I'm kind of slurring my words. Well, I have to check my fluid levels. Maybe tomorrow. Met a guy today named John who gave me you all are mechanically inclined will know what it is. I don't know, but some kind of gauge. You slide it and it checks the circumference or the this or that. I probably need one of that. Check the mirror. That's the best place to be. Henry, I absolutely agree. Henry says, check the mirror. That's the best place to be. Because the alternative is you may not be here to check the mirror. So what does it mean in your life to be able to stand in that particular moment where everyone sure you're going to kneel? Everyone is certain you're going to collapse. Everyone around you is certain that you're going to call for the check and you go, I've got one more minute I'm going to put into this. And in that moment, you decide to mortal up. And I was talking today with my friend Ken. I believe that in that particular moment in all of time, when it seems like fate has just broken you down and there is no light at the end of the tunnel, and you go, I'm going to persevere for one more moment, I think my take is the universe goes, now that is a young lady that gets it. That's a guy who knows what's going on. And in that particular moment in all of time, the universe dovetails to show you that little bit of light through the crack. Thank you, Chris, so much for joining us this evening on All Natural Being. We're talking about that point of surrender, of waving the right flag. If you ever reach that point in your life, you go, yeah, you know what? I just can't take it anymore. But you did, or you wouldn't be here. And I think at times when we talk about no more amnesia, one of the downsides, I was joking with my friend Ken today. I go, yeah, I have this little, and I look at my wrist and I go, oops. I have a little bracelet that says amnesia. Guess what? I forgot it. What are you going to do, right? Can't live with me. Can't shoot me, apparently. Right? So I have a bracelet that reminds me of amnesia. But what about the philosophical amnesia that you and I might suffer from time to time when we forget all that we're capable of? We say in the open, if you're not comfortable releasing your superhuman status, well, what if all the politicians, all the priests, all the philosophers, all the pundits, all the other people have just convinced us that we're not truly already superhuman? And, you just got to go to your email any day. Oh, here's a course on meditation. What if you already are of the perfect mindset? You might buy into binge thinking a little more than you should. But what if we're already there? What if we're already enlightened? Matter of fact, what if you were born enlightened or shortly thereafter? So we don't get enlightened like we, get a statue of the Buddha, right? Or here's one. Oh yeah, I got an hourglass. You don't get enlightenment. What if you're already enlightened and you just have to cut out those things that block you from seeing who you truly are, that block you from releasing your inner superhuman? Marcia, thank you so very much. Nice to see you. What if that's the case? Oh, well, I'd like my higher consciousness. Well, what the hell is wrong with your current consciousness? Because I'll tell you one thing. We run the risk of trading our current consciousness, the only consciousness that really matters. A friend of mine today mentioned Eckhart Tolle, right? The Power of Now. What's some of his other books? He's got a couple other really good ones, too. But The Power of Now is what I think he's most known for. I think I have it right here, but I don't. But what if this consciousness that you have right now is the only consciousness you're ever going to truly need? Oh, but for $19.95, I can let you into a class and I'll teach you through a guided meditation how to get to higher consciousness. What is wrong with these people? I think you're already a rock star. I think you're already a superhuman. I think your sense of consciousness is absolutely perfect. As I said, could you and I do with a little less binge thinking? Maybe so. Could we do with a little less of turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to ourselves? Absolutely we could. And when I say mortal up, I think that's just it. Immortal up is about remembering who you ultimately are. Not all the mashugana, not all the binge thinking, not all the craziness of listening to the marketplace. And I think when you look at social media now, you got to be happy. Marcellus, how are you, brother? Nice to see you. I say this every time I see Marcellus's face pop up in the feed. I cannot say chop block without thinking about Marcellus. But what would happen if you already were everything you wanted to be? What if I'm right? In addition to being crazy, at least in this one regard, what if I'm right? That everything you've ever truly needed, you've always had. Right? Like getting a gift at Christmas. Yeah, I think my fluid levels are a little off today. I don't know. Don't tell anyone, right? Last thing I need to do is have the doctor go, well, your fluid levels were off, so we're going to leave the shunt in for another 6 months. Oh, no, you're not. But what if, like at Christmas, where you get this gift that says batteries not included? Well, what if your enlightenment was included? What if the only level of consciousness you needed was included at birth? What if you ever go in a hike in the woods and you get those lop seed and those stick seeds, you know what I mean? Those little burrs that stick to your socks, or you take your dog with you, you go out on a run, you come back, your dog's covered in these little, right? They're just little seed pods that Mother Nature's figured out, oh, that's pretty good. Let's just make it like, the opposite side of Velcro, and we'll make it stick so that whenever they walk there, we'll just drop those seeds right there. Well, what if we're already enlightened? What if our consciousness is already perfect? What if who we truly are is already perfect? But we've picked up a lot of these lop seeds and stick seeds. We've picked up a lot of these spores running around, and all we got to do is rid that. Who's it? Aldous Huxley. It said that the doors of perception were cleansed. Everyone would see themselves as they are, infinite. So maybe mortal up truly means we don't got to buy anything. We don't have to get anything like some bauble. Henry says we are already there. Just have to open our eyes and accept removing all the learnings. Marcella says, I hate those things. I know it. Worse, almost as bad as ticks. If it weren't for some of the diseases you can get now from ticks, I think that the lop seeds and the stick seeds are worse than ticks. But now you got to watch, so you got to pull the ticks off too. Have you ever done that, Marcellus? Ever been climbing around somewhere and you get out and you got like 11 ticks on you? Your socks and your pants and the hair on your legs are full of lop seeds and stick seeds. Well, what if consciousness is the same way? What if you damn well are drilled in already? You're already great. No guided meditations, no this, no that. You are the deal already. Once we squeegee away some of the crap, some of the baggage, some of the things that society, because think about it. The committee vote in your life started to say social media. Everyone wants you a slave. Everyone wants you subject. Well, did you get more thumbs up than thumbs down? How many people retweeted this? How many people like this? How many people like that? Who gives a good rat's tuchus? What if outside of worrying about what everyone thinks about us, what if all that truly matters is what do you think about you? Now, I know people are going to say, oh, you're just a narcissist. Well, thank you very much for joining me. Oh, that's just hedonistic. Well, what if we could be for a little bit? Well, I'm not saying turn around and be narcissistic so you ignore everyone else around you. I'm not saying turn around and be hedonistic to such a degree that everyone else's feelings end up hurt. Because I ultimately believe that when we remember who we truly are, we never want to hurt another human being. When we have that moment where we can be all about us, where we can be a little narcissistic, I think that truly born out of there. Now, I'm not saying, check your look in the mirror every 5 minutes. I'm not saying doing all these other things. I'm saying to be narcissistic, we call them 20-minute victories. We haven't talked about them in a while. What can I do right now for the next 20 minutes to move me closer to and not farther away from where I truly want to be? Well, what if we go, hey, let's just be narcissistic. Hold on one second. Let's try this. Good evening. Welcome to All Natural Being. Who's this?
Good evening, Mr. Brawdy.
Henry. I owe you an apology.
For what?
Lee was over the other day in what I ceremoniously call the house that Henry built. Lee from Sales Copy Academy was over the other day. We were shooting something, and I thought, you know what I better do? I better unplug the phone lines. Because you know me, Henry. My luck would be, moment he nails a line, the phone rings. I would like to sell you some extended auto insurance. Right? I go, man. Brian, what is happening to you? So I unplugged the phone. So just so you know, I think my fluid levels are a bit off today, Henry. But so in any event, I'm looking and I go, oh, look at that pretty light flashing on the broadcast host. I wonder what that means. Right? I go, oh, it's a call. Well, jackass, if you had plugged the phone back in so you could have heard it, you would go, oh, look at the pretty lights. So
pretty lights.
Hey, listen, I'm so proud of you. I'm not even going to say what's coming. But let me tell you what you're working on right now. I think will go viral. I'm not even going to tell anyone. It's just a tease. I think it's going to. I cannot wait to see you do what we talked about today. It's just going to be great. Now he's not lifting his kilt. It's nothing like that. But it's close. It's going to be something else. All right, but I don't want to take up all your time. What do you got going on this evening? I wanted to tell people that you can catch the rebroadcast of these shows now over on the YouTube channel, which is Transitional Radio. Right? We have our own YouTube channel. Our Transitional Radio has its own YouTube channel now, so head on over if you haven't already. If you want the rebroadcast and be able to see them on video, they're rebroadcast over on YouTube at Transitional Radio. But Henry, what are you working on tonight for Thinking Re-Envisioned?
Well, we're going to we're just going to go ahead and it just kind of changed as we were talking, and we're going to go through some of the stuff that's been going on, and lately that we talked about today, and some of the stuff that I've come across talking to my astrophysicist friend down here. Very light conversations we have.
I imagine,
and but very eye-opening stuff, and I've never even thought about it, but I'm going to bring some of it up. And then, and then just go on through as far as what we're trying to do with the show, and continue along that path, and also celebrating Veterans Day today with the day off. Talk a little bit about that, and posted a thing on Facebook today about this whole thing of the veterans and what we've been involved in since the war to end all wars. It's very interesting.
Which one? Haven't we had it's like that insurance commercial. A 500-year storm. We've had 10 of them in the last 6 months, right?
That's right.
So the war to end all wars. I think you're going to have to be more specific. I got to tell you, I just feel this coming on. Okay, so you can out you, right? You can tell everyone in your show what you're going to do. Good evening, Rita. Good evening, Marcy. If I haven't said hello already, thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. You can tell everyone what you do, but I think it's just great. And I was talking to our good friend Matt Connerton over at IPMNation.com, and he goes, that's going to be hysterical. You just wait. So, it sounds like an action-packed. What are you doing, a 3-hour show now? Or are you going to try to get all this into a 30-minute show?
I don't know. I tell you, these things can easily go out that way. They really can. It's just amazing. Just all of a sudden, I got to, all of a sudden I get the cue from my brother saying, fingers up. Okay, got to cut it down. So,
you know what I do when he sends me that message? I go, speaking of fingers, just go ahead and pull mine. Right,
there
so,
you go.
Oh, wait a minute. I got my own control booth here.
Exactly.
Marcellus, good point. He says, oh, yeah, rest in peace, Stan Lee. 95 years old. What a great run. 95 years.
That's fabulous. It really is.
Golly.
Wow. Well, I'm down to 13 seconds here into your 5 minutes. So
is that how it is?
Go ahead and go. Listen, great show. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
We will take it over when you get done.
Sounds good. I will be right on time. I don't want to pick a fight with Wayne. He's a big guy.
No, I don't blame you.
He's a big guy. I don't need that. I don't need that guy chasing me down. All right, Henry, thank you so much for everything. I hope I wasn't late on the call. We'll see you over at Thinking Re-Envisioned here in about 5 minutes. Thank you so much for joining us, brother. Have a good show.
You're right. Thanks.
All right, Matt, I was just talking about you. Thank you so much for everything that you do at IPMNation.com and TR Now, Transitional Radio. Don't forget, you can go over. Matt posts the whole archive. If you're thinking, I just can't listen to Brian live, but maybe I could take him taped, and kind of like on my own terms. Then Matt puts up a tape of the show every day, and of course, as I say, it goes out on Spotify and YouTube and iHeartRadio, so it goes out there as well. So thank you, Matt, for everything. Sean, I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see your name pop up. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. Matt, please also say hello to Jenny, if you will. I want to send out a special thank you to Lee Rowley and being the official time sponsor for everything that goes on here in the studio, here at All Natural Being, and the good folks at Sales Copy Academy. Thank you so very much for that. And we don't have enough time now really left to take any calls, but if you want to squeeze in a quick one, 833-646-3877. Of course, 833-MIND-UPS, and I would encourage you to think of it. When it comes to your plan to mortal up, they're mind-ups. They're just like push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups. What thought can you have right now? Right? Because ultimately, I think we said this last night, any battle worthwhile begins and ends in your own mind. And I think maybe you and I, we talk about the amnesia, you and I have just forgotten what we're truly capable of. So maybe if you don't want to call in and share it, maybe you don't want to put it here in the feed, what's some of the ways that you're subject to amnesia? What are some of the things you've forgotten about yourself that you could go, yeah, you know what? If I recalled that mindset, if I recalled that ability, if I recalled that skill set that I possessed as a younger person, Marcia, thank you very much. If I recalled that skill set, what couldn't I do? Talk about kicking in doors. What couldn't I do if I remembered who I ultimately am? And I know maybe I get on it a little bit, especially, I said to another friend of mine today, I think going through what I have in the last couple of years, it makes me a little, what is it, Sue? What would be a good word? It makes me a little touchy, right? When people decide to use their head as a hat rack, it makes me a little touchy. I go, you have a human brain and you've decided to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to your heart's highest calling? It makes me a little touchy. Is that the word? I can't figure out for the life of me. Who knows how many days we have left? But you have to do something to remind yourself that this is the day right now. I was at an event today. I saw a woman. Her name's not important. I just met her. And I said, look, I'm sure people have told you before you have a beautiful smile. I said, I simply want you to know your smile is just plain distracting. I'm standing here. I'm talking. I look over. You're smiling. And it just makes me smile. Your smile is just distracting. That's what I'd like you to think about, because your smile is just as distracting as this young lady's was. So what are you going to do to put your heart's highest priority top of your list? All right, I got to go ahead and get out of here to make time for the feed to kick over to Thinking Re-Envisioned with Henry, my good friend Henry Noel. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, out of here by, look at the time, 8:29:25. Thank you so very much. Mortal up, go be you. Until the next time we speak, have a fantastic evening.
IPMNation.com.